Number 1 says find a common denominator for 2/3 and 2/5 and then solve the problem. So first, in order to find a common denominator, we have to list our multiples. So multiples of 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, and then our multiples of 5, 10, 15, 20. So we have to see which one matches. So if we look here, we have 15 and we have 15. So now we have to make sure that we switch our fractions to an equivalent fraction with the denominator of 15. So to get from 3 to 15, it's times 5. 2 times 5 is 10. And then to get from 5 to 15, it's times 3. 2 times 3 is 6. So then it wants us to add 2/3 plus 2/5, or 10/15 plus 6/15. So if we add those, it's 16/15, or 1 and 1/15. If we subtract them, 2/3 minus 2/5, or 10/15 minus 6/15, we get 4/15. Number 2 says, a carpenter is making one shelf that is 37.5 centimeters long and another that is 54.7 centimeters long. How much wood does she need? So first we have to pick out the key things. So we have 37.5 centimeters and we have 54.7 centimeters. We want to know how much wood she needs. So therefore, first it wants us to estimate. So if I were to estimate, I would say 37.5 is about 40, and 54.7 is about 50. If I add those together, I would say my estimate is about 90 centimeters. Then it wants you to actually solve, so we need to add them together. So we have 37 and 5/10 plus 54 and 7/10. And again, our biggest thing is we have to make sure we line these decimals up. So 5 plus 7 is 12, carry the 1. 1 plus 7 is 8, plus 4 is 12, carry the 1. 5 plus 3 is 8, plus 1 is 9. So our answer is 92.2 centimeters. Number 3 says, which of the following show 318 and 999 thousandths in expanded form? So fill in the circle next to all that apply. So the first one, we have 3 times 100, which means 300ths, which is correct. 1 times 10, which is 1/10, or 1/10s, which is correct. 8 times 1, which is an 8 in the ones place. 9 times 1/10, which is a 9 in the tenths place. 9 times 100th, which is a 9 in the hundredths place. And 9 times 1,000th, which is a 9 in the thousandths place. So A is correct. B says 3 times 100, which we said is right. 1 times 10, which is right. 8 times 1, which is right. 9 times 1/10, which again is right, just in decimal form. 9 times 100th, which is correct. And 9 times 1,000th. So B is also correct. Next we have 300, which is right, plus 10, which is good, plus 8, which is good, but then we have this 9 here. We already have an 8 in the ones place, so we can't also have a 9 in the ones place. So C is not correct. D says 300 plus 10 plus 8 plus 9/10ths plus 900ths plus 9,000ths. So D is also correct. So you should have A, B, and D shaded in. Number 4 says round each decimal to the nearest hundredth. So we have 793 thousandths. So we need to look at the 9 since it's in our hundredths place. We look to the right, it's a 3, so we round down. So our answer is 0 and 79 hundredths. Next, we have 3 and 125 thousandths. So the 2 is in our hundredths place. We look to the right, it's a 5, so we round up. So it would be 3 and 13 hundredths. Then we have 813 and 473 thousandths. So again, since the 7 is in our hundredths place, we look to the right, it's a 3, so we round down. So our answer is 813 and 47 hundredths. The last one is 6 and 97 thousandths. So we look to our 9, which is in our hundredths. We look to the right, which is a 7, so we round up. This one's a little trickier. Since it's a 9, we have to round up to a 10. Since it's a 10, we have to move it into our tenths place. So it's 6 and 10 hundredths, or 6 and 1/10. Number 5 says, Joe and 3 friends made $217 mowing lawns. How much will each friend get when they split the money evenly? Write your answer as a mixed number. So first it wants our number model. So we have 217, and we're dividing it among Chow and his 3 friends, which is 4. Or you could write 217 over 4, since again that fraction bar is the same thing as a division sign. So now we actually have to solve it and see how much each friend will get. So if we look here, 4 cannot go into 2, but 4 can go into 21. So 4 goes into 21 5 times, which is 20. Subtract, bring down the 7. 4 goes into 17 4 times, which is 16. And we have 1 left over. So each friend is going to get $54, but then we have $1 left over. So we're going to split that dollar 4 more ways. So each friend would get 54 and 1/4 dollars. In the last one, number 6 wants you to first estimate and then actually solve. So if I were going to estimate, I would do 300 times 60. So I'm going to ignore these 3 zeros for a minute. 6 times 3 is 18, and then add those 3 zeros back. And then it wants you to actually solve the problem. So if we start at our ones, we have 7 times 2, which is 14. Carry the 1. 7 times 0 is 0, plus 1. 7 times 3 is 21. Now before we move on to the tens place, we have to put our 0. 5 times 2 is 10. Carry the 1. 5 times 0 is 0, plus 1 is 1. 5 times 3 is 15. Now we add them together. 4 plus 0 is 4. 1 plus 0 is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus 5 is 7. And 1. So our answer is 17,214.